I do want to start a petition, right? And let's start a movement where we can see Frankie de Jong never touch the double pivot position ever again, and we build off of Marc Bernal and Marc Casado, because these two players did not just start against Valencia in one of the hardest stadiums in La Liga, but they played against Valencia and they delivered. We're going to be talking about those two players later in this video, but I just want to put it out there because I am just so excited, right? I am so optimistic about Barcelona's future, and the fact that we have birthed two brand new central defensive midfielders is a big plus for Hansi Flick and a big plus for Barcelona and its fans. Barcelona were able to defeat Valencia 2-1 in their debut match. We got the 3 points. Barcelona have started off well, and Lewandowski himself also started off well by scoring 2 goals, right? He had a brace and he was named as the man of the match against Valencia. Lewandowski was able to score a tap-in goal with Lamine Yamal making the assist. Later on in the game, Lewandowski scored yet again with a penalty in which Rafinha did win. He received the ball inside the box, he was fouled by one of the defenders of Valencia, and then Lewandowski later on converted that chance to a penalty and scored. And with Lewandowski's brace, he has passed Johan Cruyff on Barcelona's all-time goal scorer list. So history was made here. We saw Lewandowski scoring goals, we saw 2 central defensive midfielders perform against a very tough Valencia side. It was an amazing night for Barcelona fans. And 4 youth players made their league debut, which is Casado, Bernal, Gerard Martin, another player that we are going to be talking about later in this video, and also Pau Victor, another striker that many of us are looking forward to. So in this game, I think that Barcelona have dominated Valencia. Yes, Valencia saw a couple of chances. Yes, they did score a goal, but overall Barcelona were overpowering Valencia in all aspects of the game, and this is just the beginning. Hansi Flick's sporting plan with his club is only starting, and it's only going to get better from here. And Barcelona were able to show to Valencia in front of its fans that they were the bosses here. Their expected goal rate was 3.06, while Valencia was 1.13. That's a huge difference. Look at the possession, right? Barcelona had 64% of the possession, while Valencia had 36. Barcelona also had 18 total shots, while Valencia had 6. Barcelona also had 6 shots on target, with Valencia only having 2. Barcelona had 5 big chances, Valencia 3. And if we look at the attacking momentum, you can see that Barcelona were always attacking, always trying to find chances. We created multiple chances in this game overall. It was very much Hansi Flick's football. I would also like to argue that I believe that Barcelona are much more risky when they go on to the counter. They find solutions and they find it fast. Their passes are much faster. The players move through different areas, and Valencia couldn't really predict it. The only problem that I do find with this is that if Barcelona end up losing the ball during their counterattack, yes, we do find ourselves in a vulnerable spot, leaving spaces from behind. One of the things that the coach of Valencia was trying to say to its players 20 minutes into the game was, look, we need to pass the ball just 2 to 3 more times and find a long ball over the defensive line of Barcelona, because they do have a very high defensive line. So play and play it fast. And that was one of the things that I knew Barcelona had to work on. A player like, I would say, Gavi, Amadou Onana, right? Like a ball winner in the middle of the pitch would really work under the current problem that Barcelona do have when they go on the counter and they lose the ball. Facing a team like Bayern, City, or Real Madrid might expose this problem even more. But overall, Barcelona have a high attacking output. We just need to work on how are we going to close the spaces from behind in case we do lose the ball, something that I believe we will fix very soon. So in the first half, I would say that from a collective standpoint, it was not so great. The chemistry wasn't there. We made a few misplaced passes from the back. There was a lot of lack of communication, and I think that the only 1v1 dueler in the final third was Lamine Yamal. But every time he had the ball, he was always marked by 2 to 3 players, like always. And we had to rely on other players, right? Because if it wasn't going to be Yamal, who continued to be defensively covered, then we were relying on players like Ferran Torres and Rafinha. But those 2 players did not even exist when it came to providing 1v1 effective duels. They had no effect. Ferran Torres should have been the player to win on 1v1s, but he did not bring that. Inigo Martinez and Alejandro Balde, from a defensive standpoint, had a disastrous game in the first 45 minutes. They were to fully blame for Valencia's first goal, right? That cross that went into the box, I'm like, dude, the player was so open. Balde and Inigo Martinez were asleep. And I also did think that Barcelona were missing a true creator in the first 45 minutes. We needed a player like Pedri to come on, because Rafinha, even though yes, he was playing as a 10, and between Ferran and Lamine Yamal, he could not give you that creativity that you needed through the middle to find those passes. So some pieces were missing, and I knew that this game could have been won easily and early by having more strength on the wings and to have more control in the middle of the pitch. I did suggest that Rafinha should move to the left to become the 1v1 dueler on the left wing, taking Ferran Torres out with Pedri coming in the middle, and play between Yamal and Rafinha. And then I also did say that Balde and Inigo Martinez just need to drink like 300 milligrams of caffeine to like wake up, because again, from a defensive standpoint, it was disastrous. In the attack, right, in the final third, when Inigo Martinez had to place a ball between the lines, or if Alejandro Balde needed to make a cross, they were on point. They were, but they really needed to wake up, because we did not want for Valencia to gain some sort of confidence to believe that they can score a second goal. So Hansi Flick did make a few changes on the 64th minute, and we saw Gerard Martin come in for Alejandro Balde, who was not feeling well at that time. We saw Pedri coming in for Ferran Torres and Christensen coming in for Cubarsí. Now, a few things, right? Gerard Martin is only 22 years old. He's not young like Lamine Yamal or Cubarsí, right? He's not 17, 18, 19 years old, but still very young. And about 14 months ago, he was playing for Cornellà. Fast forward to today, he finally fulfilled his dream by coming into this match for Alejandro Balde, and he made his debut for Barcelona's first team. And he looked reliable. He looked powerful as a fullback. And I believe that he has won over Hansi Flick. Gerard Martin will be here to stay, and Flick does trust him. I mean, like, really think about it. Have you heard anything about Joao Cancelo moving to Barcelona? Have you heard anything about Barcelona trying to approach Cancelo or Man City to bring the player back? No, they're not making any efforts to bring in Cancelo nor Joao Felix. Barcelona are okay. They know that they have options. And Hansi Flick says, you know what? Cancelo was great with Xavi Hernandez last season. I understand that. He brought some assists. He brought some goals. But I trust Gerard Martin. He is going to be my reinforcement for Alejandro Balde. So that's great news. As for Balde himself, many were questioning, is Balde injured? Is he going to be out for the next 2 or 3 months or something like that, right? Because he just came back from injury, and Alejandro Balde went through nothing serious. He's okay. It has been said, according to multiple reports, that it's just a knock. Alejandro Balde does not have anything serious, and he will be available for the next match. Moving on towards Pedri and Ferran, right? And that switch up. I cannot believe that Ferran Torres is still with us here at this club. Because when I saw Ferran Torres play, dude, I'm like, bro, like, you cannot provide anything in the attack. You don't provide anything off the ball anymore. You just completely lost the plot. In this game, Ferran Torres played 64 minutes, 0 goals, 0 assists, only 1 shot on target, which was that big chance that was missed, that was given by Lamine Yamal, 22 touches, 1 out of 4 crosses, and 0 out of 2 ground duels won. And like I've said, this guy robbed Lamine Yamal from having one of his best assists in his career. Like, dude, like, we saw Lamine Yamal take down a player with some ball movement. He goes into the center, he places a beautiful ball through the middle to Ferran Torres, and all Ferran Torres had to do was beat the goalkeeper, and he missed. I'm like, bro, you have just robbed Lamine Yamal. Like, Lamine Yamal must hate you right now. Somebody go call Hustle Hard 03 or whatever his username is, right? I'm talking about Lamine Yamal's dad. Go call him and tell him to take Ferran Torres down, bro. Like, I'm so done with this player. Now, here's the thing. Looking at Ferran Torres and where he was at positionally, I can understand why now Dani Olmo came into this squad and why Hansi Flick was okay with Olmo coming in, because like I've said, Olmo is going to be playing on the left wing position. He is going to be taking on that role. With this system that Hansi Flick does have, right? Having the left winger, making those runs, waiting for those passes, going in central. Dani Olmo is the perfect fit. Unfortunately, we had to suffer with Ferran Torres playing in that position and he couldn't do anything, but very soon we are going to be seeing exactly Hansi Flick's vision with Dani Olmo on the left, Pedri in the center, and Lamine Yamal on the right wing position. It's very exciting. Moving on towards the third substitution, like I've said, Christensen and Cubarsí, it was a necessary change. I think that Cubarsí needed some rest. I was okay with that. Now, moving on towards the big news. We were 70 minutes in and Hansi Flick was still insisting with Casado and Bernal in the middle. It was a big day for both players and they really do deserve it. Starting with Casado. Casado played 90 minutes. He had 2 key passes, 11 passes into the final third, 80 touches, 52 passes, 100% long balls completed, 3 shots, 6 duels won, and 4 tackles. He was playing his first game as a starter for Barcelona and in the first team. He has spent the entire 90 minutes giving orders, controlling the ball movement, something that you would expect from a captain as a midfielder. And Casado was working extremely hard defensively. He was working throughout so many years at La Masia, and now he is finally receiving a big award for all the efforts that he has put in. I'm telling you guys, La Masia never disappoints. Casado had an amazing match. Now, he did have a few mistakes. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, if you guys saw the match, you guys probably also saw Casado make a few 2 to 3 misplaced passes, but that's okay. Like, what else are you going to expect from a player that has made his debut match against Valencia and in a stadium that's very hard to play in? You can see that Casado has that elite mentality. He's very, I would say, eager, determined. His face looks very focused, very angry, like he wants to win, very Gavi-like, and I love that. Moving on towards Marc Bernal. He played 70 minutes, 49 out of 52 passes were completed, which was 94%, right? As a true pivot, he was playing as the deepest midfielder in this game, with Casado as the second deepest midfielder and then having Pedri as the highest midfielder. And then he had 4 out of 4 accurate long balls, 3 out of 4 tackles won, 3 recoveries, and 6 out of 9 duels won, and he committed 0 fouls as a central defensive midfielder at the age of 17, not 18, not 19, not 20, not 21, not 22, 17 years old. He was able to do this. He looks like a veteran with and without the ball. With the ball, he made it look so easy, giving 1 to 2 touches, only giving out 1 to 2 touches on the ball to release the ball again, playing extremely fast. Without the ball, he was always in the correct place, my friend, always in the correct places to intercept, to recover the ball, very much like Sergio Busquets. I have talked about this before in a previous video. You guys can go look at it. I was talking about on how Bernal will need to work on intercepting, recovering, being at the right time and space for everything in whatever play in order for him to reach close to Sergio Busquets' level. And he is on his way to do that. And for him to do this at 17 and so inexperienced, I'm like, dude, like, where did you even get all this? Like, how did you even learn this so fast? Like, this is your first game. I tried to defend you by saying that we need to give this player 3 to 4 years of patience before we can even think about Marc Bernal being a starter, but this guy is making it hard. Like, Bernal is now over delivering, and many are going to be expecting big things from the player, and I think that Bernal could take it. Lewandowski had a few good things to say about both players, and this is what he stated, and I quote, "Today we had some really young players in the midfield that performed really well in such a difficult game." Hansi Flick also said a couple of things about Marc Bernal and the rest of the youngsters of La Masia, and this is what he stated. "The youngsters from La Masia already showed in the preseason on the USA tour that they can play in our team, and I'm very happy with their performance. Marc Bernal had a very good match. During the 6 weeks we have worked with La Masia youngsters, we have seen how they have improved. Lamine Yamal is a fantastic player. We still have a lot to improve on. Today we knew it would be a big battle and very intense game, but I think that we did deserve the 3 points." And so if you guys were wondering who did Marc Bernal get replaced in for, it was Eric Garcia. So Eric Garcia did get tested as a pivot once again. Previously he was attempted as a pivot under Xavi Hernandez, but it did not bring in the desired results, and Xavi Hernandez ended up opting for Christensen to play with Frankie de Jong. And so it is going to be very interesting to see if Eric Garcia can thrive under this role again, but this time under Hansi Flick's guidance. So this game should have ended 4-1. Like, we saw a couple of chances that were missed by Casado, right? Pedri played an amazing through ball into the box coming from the left flank, and all Casado had to do was target the ball perfectly into the bottom right corner, but he missed. And then we saw Lewandowski also miss a huge chance. He skyrocketed that ball to, I think, France or like Portugal, like somewhere else. Like, I think that ball went outside the stadium, bro. I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, dude, you scored 2 goals and then you're gonna miss like this? You were so close to having a hat trick, my friend. But in the end, positive vibes, great result. We started off a little sluggish, but Barcelona got the job done, and we definitely do have a lot of things to improve on, and that's gonna happen through time. Let's have patience. Hansi Flick's era is only beginning, and many of us should feel optimistic. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.